So currently, I say just be smart, Google for solutions, and figure out how you can use those tools in your company to save just 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day for whatever purposes you have. So currently, you don't need coding skills anymore. You just can install apps or use software as a service. So we finally have AI as a service out there, and you can do it with no coding anymore. And I think this opens a whole new variety of opportunities. A little bit like WordPress used to open up a website building without coding. Now you can use AI without coding, and that didn't work a year ago. That is the new thing, that everyone can go out there and use dozens of new tools just using software which we all are able to handle without writing a single write of code. I think that's a game changer.
Welcome to today's podcast, produced by the Entrepreneurs Organization on the Rise of AI. My name is Robert van der Zwart, and today I have a very interesting guest, Fabian Westerheide. He is the CEO of AI for Humanity, and he will enlighten us and share his experience how to use AI for our companies and how we can use AI as a society. Fabian, what is AI for humans? What do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur, and first, thank you for having me in the EO podcast. Big fan of the organization and have been a member a while ago. Well, I have like two hats mainly. The one is I run the Rise of AI conference, where I once in a year invite all leading minds into AI, from politics to society to research entrepreneurs together. And that's, the company behind it's called AI for Humans, because I truly believe that AI is serving us, and that's like the purpose. And then at the same time, conference is called Rise of AI, because AI is a huge thing, it is rising, and I have the mission that we use this tool to control it for the benefits of human society. And on the other hand, I run a small boutique venture capital firm with a focus on artificial intelligence startups, therefore having a lot of connections into the entrepreneurial field as well.
What's the fuss about AI? You can... almost every single day in newspapers, even in tabloids and in breakfast morning shows, AI is being discussed. It's not new. What's the fuss about?
Well, I would like to summarize it in 3 steps. The first one was when Deep Blue by IBM was winning like the chess championship against Kasparov in, I think, the late 90s. That was like first breakthrough. We have all the expert systems since then. So first phase. Second one, and important, was when DeepMind with AlphaGo was winning in the game of Go against Lee Sedol in 2016. Saying this because deep learning then re-emerged, and that is the main driver of everything we're seeing today. So that current trend was invented in 2014, 15, 16. Also important because then China woke up, realized how important the topic is. The US woke up because of this and realized how important the topic is. And then the EU woke up how important the topic is. And so today we are like in a political rat race where everyone tries to outcompete in terms of funding and infrastructure. So this whole technology race started in this year, in 2016. And then a couple of years ahead, we had a pandemic in between. OpenAI, a very great company, released ChatGPT. And that is the new emergence of a fuss. And we like to say it's like 70 years of hard work in the AI space, and then the overnight success is there. So today we talk about OpenAI and the results of this. It's all in the news. And then we talk about something which is built on layers on top we had before. So it's again deep learning, but they are called transformation models. So today we can generate from just huge abundance of text, videos, graphics, and all this. I mean, we'll talk about the use cases. But in the nutshell, the race has increased in the last 10 years, and now the US is again leapfrogging with this, and we end users finally see the results. I like to call it, we finally have a killer app, which is for end users there, but the real business model will be B2B again.
Well, we're talking about ChatGPT, and that's a language model. What other applications do you see OpenAI and other forms of artificial intelligence emerging?
AI is everywhere, we just don't see it, and a good AI is visible, not visible, let's say. Let's say if an AI is great integrated, you don't even feel it. You only get to know it if it's broken, or something not working. So we have the language models, which is a key driver because language is the core of our culture and communication. But sure, you have it in image recognition. You have it in every financial institute about, scanning scammers or credit cards and frauds. We see it in self-driving cars or semi-self-driving cars, assistants and a Mercedes-Benz, for example. I think it's already there, especially in the terms of robotics. So it's everywhere spread, but the big push currently is again in the languages. And I think there we will see the most of the change of the couple of years coming now.
What I've seen so far in the use of AI for instance, for marketing purposes, I spoke yesterday with someone who said, I will start worrying if ChatGPT or AI is helping me to develop a strategic plan. And I told him, well, I got news for you. Look at your screen. I will write you a marketing plan, including the content, including all the content. You should worrying, but that's a marketing application. Within the field of business, where do you see other applications for AI?
On TikTok, there's currently this challenge trending, how I replace my employees with AI. But it's a challenge. A boss is giving his team a task like, hey, tell me, you have 1 week, how you make yourself more productive with AI. And it's brilliant. It's not only in marketing, it's in sales, it's in biz dev. It is in graphics, it's in communication, financial reportings. I mean, just with ChatGPT alone, you can write whole reports in every field. And it's saving plenty of time, and the models get better. So ChatGPT is a little bit old-fashioned because it doesn't have the most recent data, but we speak about competitor models. For example, in Europe, we have Aleph Alpha, which is based on recent data, and it's only for B2B, and it's on purpose for businesses. And there you can write your reports. You can do decision analytics. Yeah, so you get an input and you ask for recommendations. I mean, these tools have so much potential, and I don't even have a whole overview of what's all possible. I just know that every day I get use cases by people figuring new ways out to use ChatGPT and other models to just make it more efficient, to come up with totally new concepts and ideas, either on the creative space or just saving you plenty of time to write something.
From your point of view, what is considered to be the killer app in business, and so not in the business to consumer, but into the business to business space?
When we talk about AI, we have to make two differentiations. One is you want typical AI, then you need a research team, you need integrator, you need developers, and that's normal. If you're a large company like Siemens or Airbus or BMW, you have huge AI teams out there in your structure and doing it because you need to own the property, the IP, and the code. But let's say you're out of this, you're not a core AI company or core technology. Well, you use, for example, ChatGPT or others to build upon it. And there are now thousands of new softwares you can use. So, for example, for the Rise of AI conference, I used ChatGPT to write my keynote as an AI itself. So the AI is giving the keynote. And I use another service to clone a voice of mine. And then use another service to use all this to merge it into a real-time video by real people talking in several languages at the same time if they want to. So I'm generating output which I couldn't generate before and replacing maybe a human, but using my human intelligence to control and steer this. So it's just one use case. And there are currently so many new apps coming out every day, building on top of ChatGPT. You can use for marketing, for CRM, for all your processes inside. As again, it's so new the field that I'm still following up what's coming out because it's brand new. It's like we're in middle of it.
So it's a daily change. So you were talking about Siemens and with all the functionalities that you have to be organizing in your company. But when you look at EO, the lion's share of our members, they have like between 15 and 40 people on staff. There are, of course, bigger companies, but these companies don't have the size to organize a good AI ecosystem. How can you organize an AI ecosystem taking into consideration the size of the average EO member?
The one thing is you're a large company running AI units. The other one is, hey, now use it AI as a tool, like you use HubSpot or, Twilio or Asana or other tools, like you use Jira. Integrated. I know that developers, for example, love ChatGPT and other tools because it's writing them codes or correcting them the code. you integrated it into GitHub, and then you're just able to do all your technical stuff way faster, or you do the quality management with it. So currently, I say just be smart, Google for solutions, and figure out how you can use those tools in your company to save just 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day for whatever purposes you have. So currently, you don't need coding skills anymore. You just can install apps or use software as a service. So we finally have AI as a service out there. And you can do it with no coding anymore. And I think this opens up a whole new variety of opportunities. A little bit like WordPress used to open up a website building without coding. Now you can use AI without coding. And that didn't work a year ago. That is the new thing. That everyone can go out there and use dozens of new tools just using software, which we all are able to handle without writing a single line of code. I think that's a game changer.
So despite the size of your company, you really would like to encourage people to try it and to and make mistakes and learn from it.
Yes, I mean, you can start, let's start with marketing. Generating all your marketing, white papers, social media text, you can write them with ChatGPT. You can use Stable Diffusion, for example, to do all the graphics, or DALL-E. That's just the easy ones. Then you can, a couple of tools I tested who are helping you a lot of calendar synchronizing, team setup. I mean, we just look at Microsoft, who's doing really beautiful. They rolled out ChatGPT now in Teams. So Teams is taking real-time notes, plus assigning tasks, plus in the call is figuring out when you have the next call, and is doing a calendar invite for everyone. Plus, if you want to know, for example, what Robert said in the last meeting, you just can use this now like a knowledge system to Google, or, not to Google, it's the wrong term anymore, to search for the content. And then say like, okay, what did Robert say for this and this point? And then the system is giving you, like, from all the past recordings, the summaries of the meeting, or the summaries just of the tasks open to assign to Robert. So this is just perfect for running virtual teams, for example. And that's just one use case.
Now, these are all positive use cases. You probably also have some experience with, the less successful use cases. Can you give us an example?
The most recent one is if you use ChatGPT and others long enough, you can break them. So Bing, the search engine, just said, okay, they are reducing the amount of dialogues you have per instance from 60 down to 10, because they figured out that after a couple of dialogues, the AI is getting kind of like...
tired?
No, not only tired, annoyed. Annoyed. It stops giving you smart answers and it's like kind of pissed because it doesn't know the answers anymore. So if you use it long enough, you can jailbreak the systems and you will figure out, where the loopholes are. And we are maybe too old for this, but the kids out there, they are so smart and they're very quick in figuring out how to use AI. If we want to go to examples, for example, Tate. It was a Twitter bot, and was supposed to learn from the crowd. It was 2016, 17, 18, and it got within 24 hours racist, very racist. And it was starting to yelling at people and doing insults. Why? Well, AI is learning from you, and we people are not the best behaving in the internet. So the internet is full of, I call this bad data, but at the end, it's behavior which you don't want to have represented in your AI. Or, for example, Amazon, they used an algorithm to create new products, images, based on the most popular items in the internet. What happened is that they had products with dildos and heroin injections and, shootings on their products because they were popular. So what AI, you always have to know, is missing is morals. And technical, it's not there yet. So the morals are either integrated by the data. So the data needs to represent your world. Google, for example, had an image recognition system which was supposed to tell you, hey, I'm white, man, I'm a cat, etc. But for black male, it came out as gorillas. So because the data didn't show enough black livings or humans, the AI thought it must be an ape. And that's technical, moral, not good. It's technically maybe right, but morally it's wrong. So either like with OpenAI, you have a very censored system. OpenAI is heavily censored by the programmers themselves, or we figure out how we can play back the data without, destroying the model itself. That is a danger. If you're just buying it, you can't change it. But if you're developing AI, that is a crucial part. And if you're using the tool, always keep in mind that the data or the input which is behind the model could be different through your moral standards. And that's coming to the point. That's why we need European models for it, because the Chinese model has way different way of thinking and responding than an American has. So just as example, another example, for example, Google was using for recruiting AI, and they used it on past data. So what they later figured out that in AI was learning from past data that Google is only hiring male developers by average. Therefore, it sent out a pass to all female developers, not knowing that they are female, just deriving from the way how they write their motivation letters and what words they use. It derived this doesn't fit to the culture. So the good news is AI can very good filter for your culture. Bad news is you will not get any diversity anymore if you don't program hard into the code that you want diversity.
But whose responsibility is it to basically feed the monster or feed the system?
So in the large context, human society, because we produce the generate values. In the smaller context, the company training the models. So the company training the models needs to have internal processes for it, what they do with the data cleaning, data labeling, what kind of data and therefore morals they feed into the machine. So OpenAI is doing this, Microsoft is doing this, Google is doing this. And if you buy a service out there, you have to figure out later on what model are they running. So if they use OpenAI, well, you have to know it's an American system. If they use Aleph Alpha from Germany, you know it's a German system. European EU Act is coming, so there will be a law for artificial intelligence soon. It's already now in discussions, which then gives you hard rules how to do this in terms of reasoning, in terms of trustworthiness, in terms of security, reliability, and also in terms of who's reliable and at the end and insurance-wise. So European Union tries to figure this out legally, but currently it's still Wild West out there.
Yeah, and the other wild west out there is also how to misuse information and creating fake news. If you look at the output of ChatGPT 3, it can be very compelling, and it's basically, you could judge or perceive it as the truth.
The first, fake news always have been around. That's not a new problem. Many problems with AI are just scaling human problems. So if we have fear of fake news, that has been happening before quite often. I mean, you should look at Trump and the whole clickbait problem we had with Facebook. Difference today is I can generate fake news now way faster. Within seconds, I can generate thousands of articles and push them to the internet with a degree of sophistication which is brilliant. If I want to generate fake news, that's one thing. Fake videos, fake images, both image cloning. I can make a video of you just based on this podcast, and no one will maybe know the difference unless they know you really well. Because it's your voice, your face, but my text. The other thing is, and then we talk about the whole problem of AI, it's the confidence. So an AI is always confident to give you an answer. It is not programmed yet that it says, well, I'm not sure if I'm confident enough, I will not give you an answer, because then you as a user are frustrated. So AI doesn't know if it's right or wrong. It doesn't know. It just thinks it will be right, and then it will be very confident. So whenever we work with AI, you have to challenge it. Same, by the way, it happened to me on Google. Google Maps is a brilliant AI. It tells me where to drive and where not. So I pasted in their address for a meeting, and then there were 2 streets in the city. And it was driving me very confident to the street number 1, and I was there arriving and figured out, oh, damn it, I'm in the wrong street, because I didn't check that there are 2 addresses in the same city and that there's a difference of 2 miles in between them. So it was my mistake not double-checking the data. The AI was doing it right, even it was wrong because it sent me to the wrong address.
The other thing that basically gives, or raises questions is, okay, who will be stronger at the end? AI systems or the human race? Maybe a bit of a philosophical question, but where do you think the strength of the human race is versus artificial intelligence?
I think it's a combination of both. So what we saw is when IBM Deep Blue was winning in chess, a computer was winning against all world champions. But then a couple of weeks later, a team of humans plus machines was winning against the machines. And the same about AlphaGo. So we learned that a human is always using an AI tool as more efficient than only a human or only an AI. So the combination is our core strength. Right? We are faster driving the car, than just walking by foot or just letting the car drive itself. Yes, we're still better. I'm not sure where we are unique, because this is losing. I mean, we said, okay, generating text is a human strength. No, AI can write books better in a language and faster than we can now. We are better than being creative. No, AI can be very creative in terms of writing scripts, videos, images, whole videos, our movies.
Marketing plans.
So I'm not losing confidence. For me, AI is a great tool to increase the overall productivity of human society. And my goal is that we use the earned hours of humankind for good. Like, if we both save 2-3 hours a week because we use AI tools, we can invest this in ourselves, in free time and family time, or you invest it to even work more. And what happened in society is we got more productive, we started to work more. The average working hours didn't decline I think it was Nixon who wanted to start with the UBI, Universal Basic Income, already in the 60s and 70s, because then we had the first productivity boost. So this is more a discussion of society, what we do with the surplus. But overall, AI will be there. It will drive us being more productive and hopeful also being more sustainable. Because I always say, like, for every Zoom call we do, we have one meeting less and physical, therefore saving a lot of travel time and energy to travel to those spots.
Do you think that AI can also generate solutions for the world problems that we're currently facing, for instance, climate change?
Yes, in the terms that the UN is highly working with AI to solve the global problems. But I say yes and no. No, because the most problems are not technical nature. It's more like give them power, give them water, and give them access to education. All this is a human concept. We need it. I can then use AI to make the education more affordable. I can use AI to optimize the power grid. I can use AI, to help them later to build faster, cheaper houses, maybe with a 3D printer. But for the moment, it's more that we use AI in our very advanced technologies like Germany, France, US, UK, Singapore, etc. But the whole problem is about poverty and health care. It's not a technical problem yet. It's more a question of allocating resources. However, the world got so complex that we can't fix them anymore without AI. So AI will be a huge driver for allocating resources overall, for managing supply chains, for going into circular economy, for designing new products. Yes, I have a portfolio company who's doing protein folding with AI. So they are inventing new materials based on AI and saving thousands of hours. Because before they had to go to a laboratory, build it, grow it, test it. Now they can simulate everything before they have to go on the testing phase, which is saving them in the medicine space and the healthcare space plenty of time and resources. So AI at the end is a huge driver if you have already a digital and very knowledge-intensive business model. And I don't see it, or to make it easier, the rich will get richer with AI. Currently, the poor won't get richer because of AI. They are too far behind. They don't have the infrastructure and the setup for it yet.
So we do have a moral obligation to help them, and to basically the hours that we save could be allocated to help them, or to educate them. Or is that a too socialistic view on the world?
So outside of AI, it's a longer discussion if we have a moral obligation to help or not to help. A very hard discussion to see, because I just read the numbers that people from Africa, for example, working in Europe, are sending over more money to Africa than we as government send over to help them. So sometimes it's better to let the people into your country, let them work, and then they finance their own, country way more significant than when we do big bucket money and just let it rain over the countries and it's flowing down into corruption. So honestly, I don't know what the best approach is. Overall, I would think the more open the economy and a society is, the better is it for our neighboring countries too. And then we come back to, we need education for those people.
Correct. Yeah, that leads me to another question. AI drives teachers nuts.
I get it, and it's very sad that it's driving them nuts. It would be the same like Wikipedia is driving them nuts.
Yeah. Well, it was the same discussion because all information was on Wikipedia.
Yes.
But what kind of advice would you give them, or give teachers, or give training agencies in how to use AI? For scholars, they will use ChatGPT to write their essays.
First, accept it. Second, adapt. Third, use it. So I just had with the university, it's called Tomorrow University, which is, very modern concept of teaching. And I gave a panel discussion there exactly about this. Like, hey, this tool is out there. You accept it. I give highest respect for every child or student out there who's using this already to write the essays, to do the homework. I mean, come on, use these tools. You're smart using them. You're stupid not using them. And my teacher always said it's not about storing the knowledge in your mind. It's trying to find the solution quicker than others. So I was, for example, in school, always a kid, not learning by heart, but knowing in what book I could reproduce the knowledge and how to find the knowledge faster, before there was a Wikipedia, before there was a Google there. I don't think that this is wrong. I think use it, and then the schooling system has to adapt. But we know school is not in the 21st century. They haven't arrived. We're still in a school system which is training you to be a very good industrial worker and not a knowledge worker. So I would say prepare those kids out there to use those tools and to be more productive, more smart, and win more freedom about their time because they use those tools. I think it's a great chance to adapt the teaching system. And I think for teachers, once they understand it, that they can use ChatGPT to correct all the homework, wonderful for them. Because I know teachers, and they spend an average 2 to 3 hours a day just to do the homework stuff. If they now can put it into a, let's say, customized version for teachers, for ChatGPT, they can do the grading more objective, by the way, and less biased than a teacher is today. We all know teachers are. Some like you, some don't. Just imagine the AIs doing the first screening. Man, you are treated equally, finally, outside of the bias scope of a human. And I like this. It's the same, by the way, in the law system. How do you call them? A judge. Yeah, the performance of a judge is correlated to his stomach and his, how much he has fed and how hungry he is. The more hungry a lawyer or a judge is, the harder the penalty will be. I would love to have an AI just doing the preliminary work, doing the suggestion, because it is neutral and understands all laws really perfect. And then in the second step, a human should just supervise the result and saying like, yes, that's fair, that's not fair, to figure out that there is not an outlier. And I think that would be wonderful, especially for colored people in the United States. Yes, if they get treated equally based on the law and not based on their color or their gender anymore. But again, the data needs to be cleaned. If you just use the past data, then the AI think, black people are evil and will do it wrong. I mean, there you have to do, correct the faults of society before you roll it out.
So the question is basically creating good test samples to feed the AI systems to get better results.
So the European law, for example, says if you want to use AI for education or for acceptance tests, it has to be classified a high-risk AI, and therefore you need to have certain laws. So first you need to document how you do the data, how the algorithms work, and then you need to have a real-time person sitting next to the computer and always having the finger on the stop button. I don't know how they want to do it, but that's written in the law currently that always needs to have 24/7 hour surveillance of the AI if it's running critical things like education, admissions, law, and I think infrastructure.
And if an AI system goes out of hand, there's always one simple solution. There's a plug, an electrical cord onto it.
So you can always but today it's in the cloud. How do you want to get rid of ChatGPT which is spread on thousands of servers?
That's indeed difficult. If I enroll in your conference on May 10th, what will I learn?
Well, first you will meet the top 200 people of our industries, from entrepreneurs, VCs, policymakers. Second, it's like Singularity University. It's a full day of inspiration and high-quality C-level networking. You will learn, on the one hand, like, okay, what is Europe's role? What can we do? What is the state of regulation? We will discuss the topic, is AI evil? Is AI good? Impact investing, huge topic for me. We speak about use cases like AI for fertility, for education. We speak about generative AI for industries like, robotics, image recognition, surveillance. I will touch on one stage the broader topic like we have in this discussion, and I will have a whole stage dedicated to use cases and applying it. The audience at our conference has prior knowledge. They're all experts in the fields, but I welcome everyone who's entrepreneurial minded and wants to get into the field. It's a brilliant day to enter the ecosystem. Also, I believe that ecosystem building is crucial, not only in AI, but in the whole, entrepreneurial sector. And for me, it's important to bring all these people together, at least for a day. Furthermore, we stream this for free. So if you don't want to come in person because, for sustainable reasons or for time reasons, hey, there will be a free stream, high quality one, and you can even parallel stream all the stages in real time if you want to and jump from content to content. So there will be a way to participate without traveling if you don't want to. But if you want to travel, I highly can recommend it because the energy is amazing in the room. It's just about the energy. You meet people who believe in technology, are responsible for it, and these people will shape our future. And I love to be in the same room with them because they think in the right way, but we can help each other to do the right decisions.
And the conference will be in English or in German?
It's English. I believe English is lingua franca. Everything should be in English. Yep. Even most are Germans talking.
I will be there anyway. So, Fabian, thank you for sharing your expertise. And I really would like to have you on the show talking about developing ecosystem, because that's another topic that I think is really interesting to discuss it into more detail. My name is Robert van der Zwart, and until next time, thank you for listening.
Have a great day.